Laura began unpacking her suitcase and wondered how soon her husband Sean would arrive. He had surprised her with a cruise to the Bahamas to revitalize their marriage. What a surprise. He had only told her about it the night before. All she had to do was pack her bags. Sean had coordinated the vacation time with her work and informed both of her parents. The only thing she didn't have time to do beforehand was to call James, her lover. Laura was glad that the hiding and lying would soon be over. Her affair with James had exhausted itself. Given the likelihood that she and Sean would be starting a family soon, it was time. However, she was glad she had time to have one fling before the baby was born. It was always going to be a one-time, first and last affair, confirming her attraction to other men. Thinking about it, she wondered why she'd even succumbed to the entreaties and agreed to meet James. He was handsome and charming, and the sex had been exciting at first, but the love hadn't been. She had once believed that there had to be an element of love in a relationship to justify the need to have a lover. Now, however, she was forced to admit that it was just lust. The sex was good, but it wasn't worth risking marriage with Sean. Thank goodness they'd been careful. Neither Sean nor James's wife Donna found out about it. Better to end it now and not tempt fate again. Laura hoped that Sean had been truthful when he'd said he was ready to have children after the cruise. Having children was one of, but not the main reason she had gotten married. She was looking forward to becoming a mother. Mentally, she remodeled the spare room twice, once for a boy and once for a girl. The best part of her life was beginning. She was so happy. The sound of the key coming through the door sent a flutter through Laura's heart. She planned to greet Sean with the tightest hug and most passionate kiss she was capable of. When the door opened, she gasped, "No, James, you can't come in. Sean will be here any moment. Go away." James shouted, "Laura? What are you doing here? Donna was supposed to be here soon. This is our cabin." Neither of them seemed to know what to do except tell the other to get out. After a few agonizing seconds, James smacked himself on the head and said, "Oh shit, now I get it. This is supposed to be our cabin, yours and mine." "What are you talking about?" "Don't you see? They know. For some reason, your husband and my wife decided to give us a lover's cruise, probably as a parting gift to our marriages." "No, that can't be it. It doesn't make any sense. Sean told me that he was the one who organized this cruise and said he had to meet me late because there were last-minute business issues. He told me that this cruise was a way to strengthen our marriage and prepare for having children. Donna told me the same thing, almost verbatim, but something about the way she told me sounded a little off. Now I know why." "Are you sure? What if they show up? Show me your ticket." Studying the piece of paper, James explained, "Look, we've booked one cabin. You can wait to unpack if you want to see if Sean's coming, but I think we're screwed." "I'm calling Sean. There must be some kind of crazy mistake." She dialed the number and got nothing. A second try yielded the same result. "Damn it. The phone company must still be upgrading. That's why I didn't call you last night." "Who told you the phones were down?" "Sean." "Guess what Donna told me last night when I told her I needed to call someone? The phones probably don't work because they cut us off from the phone plan. They knew we'd try to call someone else." "No, that can't be. I was going to end our affair after the cruise. I want my husband and my marriage. I want to have children. Sean's children. Quick, let's get off the ship." "It's too late. The ship has already pulled away from the dock. It's still days away from the first port." "I'll get off and go home. I'll ask him not to do anything stupid." "How will you get home?" "I'll find a flight back." "How will you pay for it?" "With a credit card, of course." "So you assume our credit cards are still valid?" "I hadn't thought of that. Of course he wouldn't be so cruel." "You can go to the cashier and see if you can charge anything to your card. I'll go with you and check mine." Their trip to the cashier confirmed James's prediction. Their credit cards were declined. They went online and found that half of their joint accounts had been cut in half. The ATM cards could have provided access to the joint accounts had they not been canceled. The cashier allowed them to call their spouses, but both received a number no longer in service message. "So, Laura, how much cash do you have?" "About $300. How about you?" About $250. It doesn't look like we're going on any excursions. I guess we're stuck for the rest of the cruise. I assume you have a ticket for the return flight? Yeah. What am I going to do? This is going to be the worst week of my life. How could I have been so stupid? Well, we can enjoy the cruise. There's no telling what's in store for us. All I want to do is cry and think about how to get my husband back. Fine. I'll unpack and go see what I can do for free. You don't think we're going to share a room, do you? Laura, we've been having sex for months when we thought our spouses didn't know. What's the big deal about sharing a room when they know? Well, maybe Sean would be more forgiving if I told him we didn't share a cabin on the cruise. You really are delusional. Good luck with that story. Laura and James shared a stateroom and a bed for the duration of the cruise. Laura agreed to snuggle with him on the nights James stayed in the cabin, but no sex. He found another woman who invited him into her cabin for a couple nights. Laura was all but eating, sleeping, crying, and preparing a speech when she saw Sean. She expressed optimism about Sean's forgiveness to James, who rolled his eyes but didn't challenge her naivete. Their luggage was carried to the bus to the airport. On the flight home, they sat next to each other. They hardly spoke at all. At baggage claim in their hometown, James saw a man holding a sign with his and Laura's names on it. The man said he had been hired to take them home. Once James and Laura got into the car, the driver handed each of them a manila envelope. You've been served. I thought you were the driver. That too. I was paid to drive and serve you. You must read the letter from your spouses. I'll take you both to 1353 Westwood Avenue. James said, That's my house. What about the lady? I was told to take you both there. The answer may be in the letter. Each envelope contained the same letter with separate divorce petitions. Laura and James, we hope you two enjoyed the cruise. If you think treating the two of you to a cruise was a sign of affection, discard that thought. I, Sean, bought the cruise tickets before I even knew you were cheating. They were non-refundable. After Donna and I got together to confirm our mutual cuckolding, I guess it's the same term for a woman as it is for a man, we came up with the idea of sending you both on a cruise. We needed some free time to get our affairs in order. We have a divorce attorney in common, which might be a good idea for the two of you. At least it will be cheaper. Receiving your envelope is the beginning of a 90-day separation. It will allow us all to get used to not being married to our current spouses. We have decided that Donna will not live in 4 apartments but will move in with me. Laura can move in with James. In case you're wondering, Donna and I have not developed a romantic relationship, not even revenge sex. It's not because Donna and I don't find each other attractive. It's because we don't believe we should have sex with anyone else until we get divorced. What a weird concept. Not sleeping with someone other than your spouse? I think I've heard that one before. Oh yeah, our marriage vows, or were they just marriage proposals for the two of you? We propose to use the next 90 days of separation to negotiate the division of assets. Donna took everything she wanted from her house, most of which went into storage. Laura, all your stuff is boxed up and in James's house. Oh, before I forget, there is something we didn't leave for either of you. All of the wedding photos and albums have been thrown away. If you need them, you can try looking for them at the city dump. Hey, you trashed our marriages, so it seems like a fair trade for us trashing our wedding photos. Obviously, your wedding didn't mean the same thing to you as it did to us. Please spare us the cheater's handbook excuses. There is no excuse for what you did, and you have done it over and over again. Forget about counseling, at least marriage counseling, unless you both think it will help your future marriage to each other. But there's also the question of whether a cheater who married a cheating spouse can ever trust his or her spouse. We know we can't, and that negates the reason we need to get marriage counseling. What we really need to talk about is the distribution of assets. We didn't ask for anything out of the ordinary in the petition. It's basically 50-50ths for me and Laura. Donna has a prenup that says James won't get much. The way I see it, half is unfair, but I can't expect much better if we go to court. What's fair about Laura getting half if she committed a crime and I didn't? There should be more serious consequences for the two of you, or you may not feel punished. If you are not punished, you may believe you can get away with it again. whether you marry or marry other people. The question of what punishment to give you two has been discussed by Donna and me for many hours. By the way, James, that 20-year-old whiskey you saved is really good. I'm sorry, but the bottle's already empty. Donna was very creative in her suggestions, but most of them were illegal. Here's where we stand. Copies of photos, videos, and recordings of the two of you in a moment of sexual bliss will be distributed to all of our families, schools, churches, neighbors, and anyone else we can think of. I hope this has gotten your attention. In fact, we only want to reinforce your desire to resolve your divorce as soon as possible. Some might see our offer as a threat or blackmail. We see it as an incentive. We also discussed whether to sue the company you both work for. They don't allow fraternization, but we have no proof that your dating took place in the office or during work hours. Too bad we could have used the money. Sounds like you're lucky in one respect. Communication. All future communication must be through our attorneys. We both have new phone numbers that only our attorneys know. Our attorney's contact information is listed below. We suggest a couple of meetings where we will try to iron out any differences. There are things like insurance, real estate, loans, mortgages, child support, etc., that we could exchange rather than split in half. This sessions will be for asset settlement only. We will not accept excuses, apologies, explanations, or requests for forgiveness or counseling. Donna and Sean, Laura cried, losing her husband and losing the opportunity to have his children all clawed at her heart. James tried to comfort her. His depression didn't go away until he saw his house. Boxes and boxes of Laura's things filled his living room. All the pictures of Donna were gone, as well as most of her belongings. He realized for the first time that this was reality. His wife was gone, and he was left with a woman he was only interested in bed. Laura gathered the basic belongings and clothes she would need for a couple days. "Where is the guest bedroom?" "The guest bedroom? Honey, if you stay here, we'll be sharing a bed, and I don't just mean for sleeping. I'll be torn to shreds in the divorce. Donna's dad made me sign a prenup. If I get caught cheating, I get nothing. It's your fault I got caught. You owe me a lot more sex than you've given me so far." "What makes you think it's my fault they found out? It might as well have been you. We both thought we were being careful. I don't know how they found out. Do you? All I know is that I was very careful. That doesn't change anything. You're either in my bed or outside my door." "I choose the door." She gathered her things and put them in the car. Sean, at least, had driven her car to James's house. "What do you want to do with the rest of my stuff?" "I'm giving you 72 hours, not a minute more." "That will be enough." Laura paused, then added, "I'm sorry for the damage I've done to both of our marriages. I wish you the best of luck with your divorce." After checking into the motel and sleeping through a restless night, Laura got ready for work. She was looking forward to the daily chores to take her mind off the situation. The distraction from work didn't last long. When she brought her morning coffee to the office, Laura was greeted by her best friend from work, Debbie. Debbie found out about the cruise when Sean was negotiating time off for Laura. He told her that Sean and Laura would be reconnecting as they prepared for the birth of their children. "Laura, since you have almost no new tan, I'm assuming you and Sean have been busy in the cabin making babies." Instead of the wide smile Debbie expected, Laura's face crinkled and she cried. Laura ran into her office and Debbie followed her. She told her friend the story of the cruise, the letter, and the divorce filing. Then the two women cried. Sean and Donna. "Well, Donna, I think they're back by now. How do you feel about what we did?" Horrified and satisfied. "I hate to put a cross on my marriage, but I like that we didn't let them get away with it. It seems like our marriages meant nothing to them. I feel like I've been duped for my entire married life." "Well, maybe not that long. For all we know, they've only been together for a few months." "Sean, do you think their willingness to cheat started just a few months ago? I think their unbreakable love for us started dying a few months after the honeymoon. If not, what happened that suddenly triggered their need to cheat?" "I understand your point, but I still have a hard time understanding why she did it in the first place. I had no idea she was anything other than a devoted wife and a woman willing to bear me children. Thank God I caught her before we had kids. Divorce with a child is a real pain in the ass. What do you think James is going to do? Fight the divorce or not?" If I invoke the prenup, he'll probably challenge it. Otherwise, he'll get almost nothing. He only brought about $10,000 or so into the marriage. Do you think pictures of them going in and out of a motel room will be enough to prove adultery? On the one hand, I really wish we had video of them actually having sex. On the other hand, I think a video of them having sex would be imprinted on my brain. Those pictures probably won't be sufficient evidence, at least not by themselves. I need Laura to testify, and then everything will be just fine. That's why I'm thinking of dropping the prenup and splitting everything 50-50. Not much chance of his mistress throwing him under the bus. I don't know. It sounds strange, but Laura has pretty high moral standards unless you count cheating on her husband. She can fool me, but she can also tell me the truth about the affair. Can you talk to her for me? Maybe. Let's play by the rules for now. You handle your divorce and I'll handle mine. As far as I'm concerned, there's no hurry. Speaking of which, how long do you think you can tolerate me living here before you kick my skinny ass out? As far as I'm concerned, you can stay here as long as you want. I was surprised at how comfortable it was living with you and how quickly we established order. I'm enjoying our conversations and mutual consolations. Sean paused and smiled. And after careful consideration, your ass didn't get skinny. Thank goodness you noticed. Now I won't have to slip a testosterone supplement into your food. I've been struggling to get any kind of lift out of you. I need to be reassured from time to time that I'm still a desirable woman. I've noticed, but please don't stop trying. Both smiled. It was over a month before an appointment was set for negotiations between Sean and Laura. Since James hadn't seen the photos, he disputed the claim of proof of adultery. Don's divorce would take longer. Each of Sean and Laura's attorneys came in with a list of negotiating points. Laura's attorney was allowed to speak first. My client requests that all bills and savings be divided equally between her and her husband. She proposes to keep the car and the loan be transferred to her. His name should be removed from the title. In turn, she offers to remove her name from the title of his car, and he will take over the loan. Both parties will insure their own car. As for the house, she offers to either sell it and split the equity, or he can buy it back by paying her half of the equity, as projected by a certified real estate appraiser. If he retains ownership, she will be excluded from the contract. Sean's attorney responded, "We have no problem with those terms. Her husband has decided to sell the house. He will put it on the market within 90 days. What more does she want?" Laura's attorney said, "My client will only agree to your terms if your client speaks to her privately for an hour," Sean pronounced. "No." "Then my client is requesting 12 counseling sessions. If your client refuses to participate, we will file a petition for $3,000 a month in alimony and loss of equity in the house. You know that with the right judge, we can get both." Sean's attorney advised him that local judges like to counsel the wife and let her stay in the house. While she probably wouldn't get $3,000 a month in alimony and the house, she would probably get a lot more than he was offering. The attorney also advised Sean to accept the 1-hour deal and be glad things aren't worse. "My client will give his wife 1 hour on the condition that she signs the agreement before the meeting." Laura interjected, "Sean, why don't you agree to actually talk to me instead of just sitting still?" Sean grimaced but agreed. He's never lied to me. I agree. When Sean and Laura were alone, he told her, "It's 2:32. At 3:32, we'll be done." "I deserve that. You promised to listen, and I'm holding you to that promise." Sean nodded and stared at her. "Sean, I have sinned against you and God. I'm not making excuses to you. I was making excuses to myself when I convinced myself that everything was okay. I lied to myself, to you, and to God. I cheated. I've broken my marriage vows. I betrayed the person I love most in the world. I deserve to be punished. I think you agree with what I just said." Sean nodded again. "The question is the punishment. Is divorce too much punishment? Is a second chance too much to ask for? Please be lenient and imagine a scale, the scales of justice. On the divorce side, put the heavy weight of my cheating. That will make the negative side go much lower. Is there anything else you want to put on the negative side? Have I been a bad wife to you? Besides having a lover, have I ever been disrespectful to you in our marriage?" Has anyone ever come to you with negative words about my behavior or tried to tell you that I was speaking ill of you behind your back? Have I ever denied you sex even when I was having an affair? Did you doubt my love for you until you found out about James and me? Sean shook his head negatively. Sean, is there anything you can mention about me that might lie on the positive side of the scale that might give me a second chance? Do you believe I was an evil, slutty bitch when you married me? No, you were pretty much the perfect person I've ever known. That's why your betrayal hurts so much. What did I do that turned you into a whore? He had a hard time not crying. Sean, honey, it wasn't you. You were everything I needed. The problem is that I convinced myself I wanted more and deserved it. She paused. What about our married life? Was I doing anything right? Laura, you became not only my wife, but my best friend. When I came home, I wanted to know how your day was going, and you seemed to want to know about mine. I felt guilty about spending too much of our budget on things for myself, while you hardly ever asked for money. I like talking politics with you, even though you were wrong most of the time. He made them both chuckle. I loved our conversations about the kids and our future. I never mistrusted you when I went on business trips. We loved each other too much, or so it seemed to me. I know you said it was all your fault, but I can't help but wonder if maybe I took you for granted or did something else that made you turn to James. Now he was crying. Look at the scales, Sean. Are they close to equilibrium? Do you have any love left for me to put on the side of a second chance? I know it's hard to believe my promises after I broke our marriage vows, but I promise with the lives of our unborn children that I will never betray you again. Please give me a second chance. Sean pondered his choice until his head ached. Laura, it will take me a while to get the image of you and James having sex in a motel room out of my head. I will agree to have my attorney hold up the divorce papers we just signed on one condition, that I agree to testify against James in Donna's divorce case. What will I testify about? James is challenging the pictures of you leaving the motel room as evidence that you had sex with him. Legally speaking, he's probably right. You will testify that you had sex with him. So you were lying when you said you had a video of us having sex. Oh, well, there's nothing you can do about it now. Sean, it's not hard for me to tell the truth about the affair. Of course we had sex in a motel room. I'm sorry I jeopardized 2 marriages, but I won't lie to save James from punishment. He's not worth lying for. He and I both deserve to be punished. I just wish it wasn't a divorce. Thank you. I'll tell my lawyer. Sean, what does this mean for our life together? Are you going to let me back in the house? Donna is living there now. You'll have to wait. I don't want to kick her out until she has her own place, but I also promised to put our house on the market. If you postpone the divorce, you won't have to sell the house. I'm willing to wait until Donna moves out, just so you and I can spend time together. Maybe we should date again. We're 2 changed people. We need to rediscover ourselves and our relationship. God willing, we will love each other again and be ready to fill our home with children. I'm not sure I'll fill the house, but I'd like to have a few. Your idea sounds good to me. I'll tell Donna. Donna wasn't as excited about the news as Sean had expected, but still forced herself to smile and say, "Thank you." When James learned that Laura was willing to testify that he and she had sex at the motel, he capitulated. It surprised him that Donna was willing to pay off his car loan and credit card to compensate him for losing his half-interest in their home. With the current housing market conditions, the sale of their house would barely cover the loan and the seller's commission. Alimony was not included in the prenup. Sean was puzzled that Donna was being so lenient and asked her about it. I really wanted to burn the bastard. His betrayal hurt me more than anything. Then I looked at you. You were in a lot of pain, but you managed not to be vindictive towards Laura. That scale of justice story made me reconsider. James and I had a mostly positive marriage before their affair. My dad thinks I'm crazy, but I feel much better about my divorce than I would have if I had taken a harsher revenge. Thank you, Sean, for so much. She put her arms around him and kissed him passionately. Sean was surprised. The kiss warmed him and disproved his opinion that Donna was not the kind of woman he should be interested in sexually or romantically. Donna, it was... I'm sorry, Sean, but I care about you so much. It kills me at times that I can't show you how much I care about you. I hope you can forgive me. Forgive you? I wanted to rip your clothes off and have sex with you. This is the most intense arousal I've felt since this whole thing started. Damn, girl, you sure know how to kiss. So you want to try again? More than anything. The problem is, I'm trying to figure out if I can give Laura a second chance. How can I do that if we're going to have an affair? First of all, if we get together, it won't be an affair. We're both legally free from our marriage vows right now. Second, who says that you, while giving me a first chance, can't simultaneously consider giving Laura a second chance? Sean's logic and libido competed for control of his body parts. I need time to think. I'm going to go to bed, alone, and see if I can fall asleep. Sean headed for bed. The choices didn't get any clearer or easier. Donna knocked on the open door. She was wearing a nightgown that had become translucent from the light in the hallway. Sean, can I sleep next to you tonight? I'm having trouble falling asleep. I promise I'll be on my best behavior, please. Even though he knew it was a bad idea, he gave in. Okay, if you promise. She slid into bed beside him and wrapped her arm around his chest and her leg around his foot. Donna kissed his cheek. Thank you. Sean didn't fall asleep right away. It was a sound sleep with lots of dreams. He was on a nude beach with Laura. They were drinking umbrella drinks on a mat under a palm tree. Laura was looking at him with lust in her eyes. She started kissing him. I thought you were going to be good. Are you saying it wasn't good? Then I'll have to practice on you some more. That's not fair to Laura. Haven't you heard? All's fair in love and war. I guess I should thank you. That was the best blowjob of my life. It makes you wonder what else is possible, doesn't it? Yeah. Seriously, Sean? We're going to be living together for a while longer at least. Don't you want to see if we're sexually compatible? God, you have no idea how much I'd like that. You've shown me enough of your body to keep me horny most of the night. What worries me is not only that we have to wait until after the divorce, but that you're living with me because your husband is cheating on you. What happens if it turns out that we are sexually incompatible? Would that keep you from staying here? I don't want you to have to move before you're ready. Damn, you're pretty sexy when you put my feelings above your carnal lust. A wide smile appeared on her face. Damn it, Donna, what am I going to do to you? Doggy, reverse cowgirl, missionary? James resigned and left. He was sent a copy of the divorce decree. He was never contacted again. Sean had an active social life. He enjoyed meeting Laura, and he began to remember what attracted him to her in the first place. She didn't pressure him, but she made it clear that she was ready to regain his trust in any way she could. Donna had no plans to move, even though James had left the house he'd lived in with her. Sean told Donna that they needed to talk. Donna, I am extraordinarily blessed. I have a beautiful, intelligent, caring woman living with me who has given me the best sex life of my life. I've also reacquainted myself with the woman who was the love of my life for many years. She hurt me, and I have a hard time trusting her. I have rekindled enough feelings for her to wonder if I'm giving you an unfair advantage when you live here and we have sex. You have a home. Why haven't you moved back home? I haven't moved back home because, as far as I'm concerned, that's what home is. I want to be with you. Where you and I are together is home. If you think I have an unfair advantage by living here, good for me. I'm fighting for the man I love. I don't understand why you want a woman who betrayed you when you have a woman who has never cheated on you and never will. I don't mean to demean your sense of justice. As much as I hate the idea, I will move. I plan to wrestle Laura for your affection, whatever our living situation may be. I trust your judgment. Even though you didn't say it, you love me, Sean. I know that. I'll wait, but I plan on us getting married and having kids. Now let's go to bed again. I hope you weren't planning on sleeping. Months went by. Laura began to better evaluate her chances, especially after learning that Donna had moved out. She was disappointed that Sean never got to meet her at their old house. Now they hugged and kissed, but there was no sex. She hoped he remembered their time in bed. They spent most of their time together remembering the pleasantries of their courtship and marriage. They never discussed her affair. It was 2 weeks until Sean and Laura's next meeting. Laura believed that he was going to announce his decision. She felt like she had reason to be optimistic. She sat down at the conference room table. Sean was there, as was Donna. Laura sat down, holding back tears. "Laura, I wanted you both here because I've been thrashing between you physically and mentally. You both need to hear what I have to say right now. Our current situation has been unfair to both of you. I don't think it's been fair either. I have come to a decision." "Laura, I have been able to forgive you. Our recent time together reminded me of why I fell in love with you and how great it was to be married to you before your infidelity. I've been sorely tempted to resume our marriage, under certain conditions, of course. The problem is that I can't forget. If I'm willing to risk you remaining my wife, I can't risk the mother of my children being untrustworthy. As bad as we are without children, I get physically sick at the thought of what would happen if we had children. Actually, Laura, I made my decision a couple months ago. Since then, I've been working on a new divorce agreement. Laura, because of the wonderful years you have given me for most of our marriage, I want to give you the opportunity to provide for yourself so that you can prepare for the rest of your life. I have no doubt that you will find a man willing to take a chance on you and be ready to give him children. I have sent your attorney new settlement terms that you will see are much more favorable to you than before. I wish you all the best, Laura. I really do." Sean and Donna got up to leave. Laura spoke up. "Sean, you can't." She couldn't speak as she saw a small bulge on Donna's stomach. She realized that she had lost what she wanted most.